Hello, I wanted to show the light map baking that I'm doing within Unreal Engine and just to kind of get some advice on if there's anything I can do to improve an issue that I'm seeing. So for me, the main problem that I have with the results I'm getting is this sort of white horizontal sort of lighting that's happening across my bake. And it's just I don't really have enough experience doing light map baking to know if what I'm seeing is an expected result or not. But it just looks a little strange to my eye. So the main purpose of this video is just to show a little bit of detail about the model and the UVs and anything else I can think of to sort of, that might go into light map baking. So this model is made up of 3 different meshes. And if I pop over to this right here, the main thing I want to show here are the normals, the tangents, and the binormals. With that said, I don't really have a great deal of knowledge as to what these the results should be, but I wanted to show them in case they were relevant for the baking. So this is what my normals look like. Sorry. This is what my tangents look like. And this is what my binormals look like. Sort of, yeah, like that. All right, so I think the other thing I wanted to show while I'm here is that my lights map coordinate index is set to 1 and that my lights map looks like this. All right, so let me close that. And then the other thing I wanted to show within Unreal is that all 3 of these meshes has the scale set to 1, 1, and 1. All right, so I want to show a little bit more detail about that light map UV. So for that, I'm going to pop over to Rhizome. And really the main thing I want to show here is just that the UVs have been laid out so that they sit on the grid. And that, if you have a checker texture on the model, that's sort of what that would look like. So I just want to show that doesn't have any sort of stretching or any of that kind of stuff. All right, and then I'm going to pop off over to Blender, and this is where I created the model. And really, the main thing I wanted to do here was just to show the wireframe. And I think my main concern here, again, I don't really know too much about how this impacts light map baking, but this model has a lot of really thin rectangles. So, should the mesh be nice even squares when it comes to light map baking? I guess would be my question here. And then the other thing I want to show was that my scale, when I exported this model out, has been set to 1, 1, 1. So my transformations have been applied. And then lastly, my export settings, I exported out as an FBX. And within Unreal, I saw the tangents and the binormals. So within Blender, I saw this tangent space sort of check marks here, which says it adds that binormal and tangent vector information into my FBX file, which is really the reason why I checked it here. Anyway, so with that said, I've learned a lot about light map baking by going through this process. Before I had this issue with seams in between my modular pieces, so I was able to get that sort of sussed away with, I think, this thing here within Rhizome. But it would be nice to have to fix this sort of banding that I'm seeing across my mesh. So if that's possible to fix, that's great. Otherwise, I'm not going to stress too much about it, and I'll just move on and come back when I gain more experience. Yeah, anyway, if you have any suggestions, that'd be great. Thanks again.